Mark Giovanni here, and in today's video, I'm not gonna address a specific topic. We're gonna talk about. I'll try to answer a question that I got, and let me switch the camera real quick. Switching the camera. All right. So I got this message from Skype. Okay, this is my wife and I here recording this stream, and my wife with two phones. Because someone asked me, hey, I don't have a Facebook account, and like, okay, I'll post it in YouTube as well. So here it is. All right, and this guy here's Garth Cooker. You gotta check out his music. Great composer. This photo was taken in Chris Young's house. It was like a party at the end of USC. Anyway, that was back 2010. He should change the photo. Anyway, so I got this message and he's saying, all right, I bought your template. I have some questions. I don't have the UAD plugins. I have waves. And the question is, I have the Apple Tech and the A800. Is there a way you can have another Excel? We're going to each EQ. And what are you doing with each EQ for your stems, so I can try to replicate this and I learn what you're doing. Okay. So the answer to this question is I'm not EQing the stems. I am EQing each return, each track. So I'm EQing each track, every single track I'm EQing. Every single track, not the stems. In fact, if we get here to the stems, those are the stems. Those darker blue ones, those are the stems. And in here, I do have a plugin inserted. It's a UAD, and I've got a. Let me just open a few of them, and I have. Basically, what I have here is the Studio A800, but you don't have to do that. I'm doing that because I'm a bit of a geek, and let me explain. Let's go to the kitchen. All right. Okay. So the house is a little bit of a mess, but my wife and I are flying to Spain. And let me grab this and this. All right. My wife and I are flying to Spain in 2 hours, so I'm leaving right after the video. But the house is a mess. But and that chair over there, we were about to donate it, but they didn't come to pick it up, and so that's why it's there. It's a little bit random, I know. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm a little bit of a geek. And that's why I have the Studio A800 inserted in my stems. But you don't really need to have anything in the stems. Some people have, you don't really need to have anything in the stems. I EQ each track, and the stems should be just, route the specific tracks to your stems, and that's it. And then print the stems to mix. But I don't have anything in the stems. The reason why I have this in the stems is because back in the days, not back in the days, these days, if you go to a studio, basically you'll have, let's say, this is the orchestra, all right? So we've got the orchestra, we've got the big glass, right? And then we've got the booth, the control room, all right? And the control room, so this, the orchestra is here, orchestra, playing, conductor, Deca 3 mic, okay, wide mics, surround, and all the spot mics, correct? Okay, those all are patched. Those mics, cables are patched here, and they go through the wall, and they are connected to the mixing board. Huge mixing board, correct? Right, huge mixing board with a lot of knobs and a lot of faders and all that. Okay, all those are connected. Sometimes they have preamps, but let's say that all those cables are connected to the mixing board. And this is an inline. It's an inline mixing board. All right, which means that this is in fact two mixing boards. Let's split this board in half. So basically, the signal will come here. I wrote this here. Let's say the signal will come in here. So all the cables will come in here, and there's one section with all the gains. So it's like an inline mixing board. It's like two boards in one. And so basically, the first, each cable, each microphone will be connected here, and the engineer will set the gain, will set the levels, will set everything, all right? And then that signal goes to the recorder, so out to the recorder, all right, to the recorder. And let's say that this is like a magnetophone or something. That was back in the days. These days is a Pro Tools. Okay, so these days Pro Tools. Pro tools, and then goes back in. All right, and then after that the signal keeps going down, and then the engineer does the mix that goes to the speakers. All right, so then he does the mix, and that mix goes to the speakers, to the control room speakers. All right, but the signal that gets recorded is this signal here, and then the speakers is just for reference really, and it's a replicate of the mix of the recording. But basically we've got the orchestra, all the signal, preamps, sends to the Pro Tools, or back in the days the tape machine, and then gets back into the mix, the inline mixing board, and then it goes to the faders to the speakers. But when the engineer takes the tapes or the hard drives and goes to the studio to mix the soundtrack, what it's getting is the signal that got recorded here, right? So that's the standard setup in a studio. Cool? So there it's orchestra in, and first it gets recorded here to the Pro Tools, and then second they've got the signal that goes to the speakers. But the signal that they use, you know, the next day they will get the hard drives to mix. They'll go to the studio. They have the recordings, these recordings. All right, makes sense. All right, so let's get back to the studio. So that's sort of what I'm trying to replicate. I am trying to replicate. So when I am composing, and that's something that I always say, when I'm composing, and I'm focusing about I'm focusing on music, harmony, counterpoint, a good arrangement. It's music, and to me, when I'm composing, I'm not mixing. That's for me, producing an orchestral track, an orchestral mockup. It's 3 steps: composing, exporting stems, mixing, exporting stereo, and the mastering. So composing, mixing, and mastering. And when I'm composing, I'm focusing on the music, and the final result for me when I'm composing is the same result that when I'm composing a mockup, when I'm producing a mockup. In the composing stage, the final result that I'm going after is the same result that I would get if I would be recording a real orchestra. When you record a real orchestra, what you get is the best possible performance from the orchestra, and that's it. And that's it. But you aren't really mixing when you are recording an orchestra. You're just recording the orchestra, and so that's what I'm trying to get here. I hope it makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, please leave a comment. And that's about it. My next step is mixing. At mixing, I get all the stems, which is the same thing that the mixing engineer would get from the scoring stage. They would get all the tracks from all the mics, and they would mix it. All right, and that's audio. All right, I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, please leave a comment that I'll be happy to answer. And please help me with the videos and let me know if you like them. But to let me know if you like them or not, it's if you like them, post, just leave a comment, tag your friends, share, like, depending on if you are in Facebook or YouTube. And it's a lot of fun, and that lets me know that you like them. Or grab my book. I have a free book, 50 pages of my best stuff. Grab the book. It's called Orchestral Mockup Production, and you can grab it at orchestralmockupbook.com. It's fun. I'm Mark Giovanni. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.